Hey guys, so it is finally time for my rewind video. I'm so excited about it, but quick rant. I am so out of practice. This is like my 15th time, no joke, making this video. So I really need to get back in the book community and remember how to make a freaking video. Okay, so the first book I read was Prize by Kara M. O'Brien. This is the second book in the Birthmark trilogy, which I love. If you guys haven't read the first one, I definitely recommend it. I gave Prized a thumbs up. It was a really, really good book. The pacing was excellent and the plot was excellent as well. And I'm not going to say too much because it is a sequel, so I don't want to spoil it for those of you who have not read it yet. But I definitely loved this one. It was intelligent in the way that Kara really tackled some of those important issues. It was really good, and I highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, thumbs up. The next book I read was Two Truths and a Lie, and it's the third book in the Lion Game series by Sarah Shepard, and I gave it a thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good book. I love Sarah Shepard's writing. She really knows how to wrap you up in a story and the suspense, and it's just enough of fun to make it enjoyable and flirty almost, but it's also very serious enough to make you bite your nails and keep turning the pages. I really enjoyed the romance part of this book, more so than the second book. I'm looking forward to see what Emma does next in the next one, and the ending really kept me guessing, and so I'm interested in the next book that's coming out to see what happens between the girls. The next book I read was Hollowed by Cynthia Hand. I gave this book a thumbs up. I really, really loved the first one. It's the Unearthly series, and oh my gosh, I thought Tuck was amazing. He's my favorite character besides Clara, and I cannot wait to read the next one that comes out next year, and I'm so sad about that, but I don't mind waiting because it is so good. Cynthia Hand has a way of wrapping yourself and immersing yourself in her writing. Her writing is like a warm blanket. You just want to like delve into it and put your hand under and just breathe it in because she's such a good author. And Tuck was awesome and Christian was awesome as well. But like I said, I thought that she was a little bit of a sellout. But still, even the bad guys I loved. And the way that Clara interacted with her friends and with her mother. And I love, love, love her mother. She's such a good heroine and a good main character and the matriarch of the books. So definitely recommend that one. Thumbs up. The next two books I read are kind of hand in hand. They are called Before Midnight and Golden by Cameron Doki, and they were part of a bind-up of 3 books, but I didn't get to finish the last one, so I didn't like it. Before Midnight is a retelling of Cinderella, and I liked it. It was okay. I'm kind of going to give it a side thumbs up because it wasn't great, and I didn't think it was original enough to really make me want to read it, but I so wanted to finish the book that I kind of forced myself to finish the story. So it was okay, but I thought the ending was kind of irritating, and I also don't like the insta-love, and since it's such a short story that they kind of had to, and I don't like that. I like a slow build up, so I wasn't really a fan. And Golden by Cameron Doki was a little bit better than Before Midnight simply because it was a retelling of Rapunzel, but the author kind of spun it around a little bit where Rapunzel is bald, and I thought that was really clever and interesting take on it, and I appreciated that about the book. I still gave it a sideways thumbs up because it just didn't hold my interest too well, and I thought that it was a little bit cheesy, especially towards the end, but they were okay to read, and it was a good thing to pass by my time in San Diego. So I read these on the plane, and it definitely held my interest for that, but I don't think I would sit down and actually read them for fun. The next book I read was Perception by Kim Harrington, and this is part of the Clarity series, and I love, love, love Gabriel, and I thought that Clarity was a good character. I did think that some of the things that the two boys did for her was a little bit too far-fetched. I mean, they're teenage boys, and so I didn't think that it was as realistic as it could have been, but I thought the missing girl was such a good addition to it, and I loved how Clarity is finally starting to hold in her abilities, and she's able to use it for good, and she's starting to learn how to control it. And so I really appreciated that about the book, and I thought that she was a really strong character. But some of the other things I was kind of meh about, but I still gave it a thumbs up because I did enjoy reading it, and it made a good time buster for sure. And it's a fun series to read. They're so like summary, and they're on the boardwalk, and so it really makes it a little bit more interesting and fun to read. The next book I read was Purity by Jackson Pierce. I read this when my dad was in the hospital and I found out that my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and so it was almost like I was led to this book by something else. So I definitely gave it a thumbs up. It's a beautiful, beautiful story, and it's not just about fathers and daughters. It's about relationships of all kinds and love and living the life that you want versus the life that other people think you should have, and how you really need to trust your gut and trust other people in knowing that they know what's the best for you, and you don't always have to do it by yourself, and it's okay to let go sometimes. And I love the writing, and it's a short book. I got through it really quickly. I think it's only like 200 and something pages. This book is about a girl named Shelby, and before her mother dies, her mother makes her promise three things. And to listen to her father, to love as much as possible, and I think to live without restraint. And so she's trying to navigate her life between these three promises. And she can't do one thing without breaking another promise. And so she really has to rely on her best friends to try to help her. And I know that there's a lot of controversy about this book, especially with the daddy-daughter dances and the vow to purity and all that fun stuff. But I still thought that it was such a good book. And like I said, it isn't about just the purity ball or things like that. It's about relationships and living life to the fullest and really being your own person and coming into your own. And like I said, thumbs up, perfect book, loved it. But Jackson Pierce never disappoints me ever. I've loved every single thing that she's written, and I will continue to be a huge fan of hers. Okay, so the next book is Faithful by Claudia Gray. And this book I gave a thumbs up as well. It's about a girl named Tess who is aboard the Titanic as a maid or servant girl, I guess, to a very wealthy family, and she meets this guy on the boat, and he is very wealthy and very elusive, and he turns out to be a werewolf. And I really, really liked this one. It was fast-paced. I originally was going to give it a 4, but now I'm kind of thinking I liked it enough to give it a 5, and I'm hoping that she makes a sequel. I think she is, but it was so good and such a good twist on Titanic. And it's almost to the point where you're like, did it really happen? I wonder if there were werewolves on the ship. But it was really good, and I love the writing. I really enjoy Claudia Gray's pacing and her plot, and it wasn't cheesy to me, and the ending was so good. Like, I was like, what? I really enjoyed this book, and I definitely recommend that you guys read it. Thumbs up. And the next book I read was Fracture by Megan Miranda. This book is about a girl who falls into a river that's frozen, and she essentially dies, and she's brought back from a coma, and she's just struggling with life after death, literally, and she's brought back by her best friend, and now she's meeting with this elusive boy, and he is crazy awesome. But this book was so dark at times, and it was so good, and it was mysterious, and I felt for her. I so, so felt for her, and she is trying to do the right thing, but all these bad things are happening to her, and she doesn't know what she's going to do about it. And she has, of course, a love triangle between these two guys. Well, kind of, I guess. It's more of like a intriguing one. But I love Decker. He's so sweet. And I love Delaney's personality. She's a lot like me sometimes, I think. and so I could really relate to her very well, and the ending was crazy. I'm so excited there's another one coming out. I cannot believe it. I cannot wait to read it because I think it's going to be really good, and I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, so I definitely want to give it a thumbs up, a huge thumbs up. So if you haven't read it yet, please do. Alright, the next book was Underworld by Meg Cabot. This is the second book in the Abandoned trilogy, and I'm so excited there's another book coming out. It's about a girl named Pierce, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but so good. Love John. Such a good author. Oh my god, I read this in like a day and a half. This is the first book I think that got me back into reading, and so I was like devouring it. It took me a little bit to get into it just because I hadn't been reading for so long, but once I did, I completely was like bam, 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 running through pages, and it was so good. And the pacing was perfect. The plot was awesome. The characters were really awesome, and I just love being able to experience this with Pierce and John and her cousin Alex. Oh my god, the ending. What the heck happened? You guys need to read this book if you've read the first one. If you haven't read the first one, get on it. It's super good. Thumbs up. Alright, the next book is After Obsession by Carrie Jones and Stephen E. Waddell. I thought this book was good. I originally was going to give it a side thumb. At first, it was kind of slow to get into, and I wasn't sure how much I was going to like it. I thought that Amy and Alan were kind of slow to me, but the ending made it worth it. It was more exciting, and as they started to find out more and more about their history and their abilities and things like that, I thought that it made it a little bit better. But Carrie Jones I love, and so I knew I was going to like it, but I didn't think I wouldn't like it as much as I thought, you know. It kind of was a little bit disappointing to me. Not a ton, but I thought it was a little cheesy sometimes, especially the talking between Amy and Alan. I liked the other characters more than them. I loved their mothers, and I thought the possession was so creepy. It was so creepy. It's a book that I'd recommend, but I don't think I would be raving about it, you know. So, um, kind of a semi up for me. So that is After Obsession by Stephen E. Waddell and Carrie Jones. Alright guys, finally a book that I have the real cover of. Here it is, Stunning by Sarah Shepard. This is, I believe, the 11th book of the Pretty Little Liars series, so we're definitely getting up there. But this follows, of course, the four girls in their adventures. I'm not going to say anything more than that. But the suspense in this book was crazy. I totally ate this book up. Hannah is finally getting better. I hated Hannah for so long, but I think that's the point. I gave this book a thumbs up. I thought that it was good, fast-paced. The plot was good. The characters are starting to get even more developed, and Emily's story is making a little bit more sense. The ending was really good. I love how they incorporated new characters and the twist at the end. I wasn't expecting that from a mile away, so that made it really, really awesome. Alright guys, and the final book of this rewind is Eve by Anna Carey. Thumbs up. 5 stars. Amazingness. God, you guys, I love this book so much. So crazy good. Named Eve. And it is, I think, the year 2080 something, and it's basically an all-girls school, and they take care of everything, and Eve comes across something one night, and she realizes this school isn't what it was supposed to be. So she ends up running away from it, and she's trying to find salvation to get to Califia. Califia is California as we know it now. And the adventures on the way just blew me away. She met this guy named Caleb along the way too, and he is so amazing and so sweet. And good God, like the second that I thought, okay, she's alright, something else happened. And it was just boom, 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 after. And the next book came out just now, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I am so buying it. And geez, this book was so good. I loved it dearly. Okay, guys, so that is my rewind. I hope you guys enjoyed it and it wasn't too all over the place. I need to get back into the swing of things and get a little bit more practice, but I will definitely talk to you sometime this week with more reviews. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking it in there with me. I really appreciate it. You guys are very loved by me. So I will talk to you later, guys. Bye.